Welcome to another episode of Deck Profile Quest. Sorry, my mind just had a my mind just did a boomer there. I almost said Solitaire Quest. Today I'm doing a deck profile quest of my Summon Skull deck. This is from the 2005 era. And yeah, starting out, we got 2 copies of Summon Skull. And we got his friends Jinzo, the Fiend Mega Cyber, and Terra King Salmon. So it's Summon Skull and Friends. The Super Friends, actually. I actually got 3 copies. Goblin Attack Force. We got Opticlops. Legin. Archfiend Soldier. Mad Dog of Darkness. That's for our beat stick lineup. We got 2 copies of Sangan, 2 copies of Witch of the Black Forest, 2 copies of Man-Eater Bug, 2 copies of Wall of Illusions, 2 copies of Magician of Faith. Pretty solid lineup for the era. Next, Book of Moon. We got Book of Moon, Card Destruction, Snatch Steal, Change of Heart. We got Reinforcements of the Army. This is basically the 4th copy of Goblin Attack Force in the deck. 2 copies of Nobleman of Crossout. 2 copies of Fissure. 3 copies of MST. And we got Magical Lightning. That's the spell card lineup for the main deck. For the traps, we got 3 copies of Trap Hole. We got Bottomless Trap Hole. And 2 copies of Jar of Greed. Now, why Jar of Greed? Good question. All my copies of Pot of Greed are in use. And a copy of Graceful Charity is in use. But yeah, definitely the cards I would be missing from this deck: Delinquent Duo and Confiscation. Those would be the hand rips that would be in this deck if I had the extra copies, but you know, it is what it is. Next, for the fusion deck, 2 copies of Humanoid Wormdrake, Sandwich, Rabid Horseman, 2 copies of Cybersaurus, 3 copies of Super Robo Lady, 3 copies of Super Robo Yaru, and 3 copies of Moki Moki King for the fusion deck. Next, for the side deck, most powerful ritual monster in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! We got, for the side deck, Hungry Burger. We got Hungry Burger, hamburger recipe, an OG copy of polymerization, because you never know. You never know. You never know when you had to bring this guy out. Strongest fusion monster in the game, I'll tell you. Paired with the strongest ritual monster in the game, yeah. And yeah, so with the memes out of the way, we got copy of Swords of Revealing Light, Monster Reborn, Rush Recklessly. We got Hammer Shot, Prohibition. 2 copies of Blast with Chains, Torrential Tribute, 2 copies of Magic Drain. This shuts down any spell card. If your opponent can't, if they don't want to, this shut down any spell card, or if your opponent wants to discard, they'll lose a card from their hand. So yeah. And then we got 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole, folks. So yeah, here's my Summon Skull for the 2005 GOAT era deck. Obviously, the big chunky boy is the Skull Daddy himself, Summon Skull. But then we got Jinzo, who for 100 attack less, can turn off all spell cards. And we got the Fiend Mega Cyber. Summons itself. Special summon this card from your hand if your opponent has 2 more monsters on the field than you do. So yeah. Then we got Terror King Salmon. Pretty much a third copy of Summon Skull. And yeah. So yeah, if we can't get Skull Daddy on board, then we got backups and we got some beat sticks. And yeah. Goblin Attack Force, 2300 attack. If you don't mind losing it on the next turn, then yeah. But other than that, set this in attack position and it is a 2300 attack wall. Your opponent cannot climb over. Unless you willingly put this monster into defense position with its effect and after you attack. But yeah. But no, alt art Legend, pretty decent. And yeah, we got a lineup of the good stuff. So yeah, that is my Summon Skull GOAT era deck. Gonna be getting into some more decks after this deck. It's gonna be nice. I actually got some premium good shit. I got some good shit to show you, but that'll be for another time. I'm the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of Bloodganistan. Like, share, and subscribe.